Hello and welcome to another fun-packed and fun-filled episode of This Week in Comics. I'm your host as always, Pete, here in Oxfordshire's longest running comic shop. That's right, it's Comic Connections, and we are going to run down some of the best comics coming out this week, this Wednesday, on the 10th of July. Let's have a look. In store at the moment, we have a little promotion on where we have a whole wall dedicated to various crossovers. So crossovers between Marvel and DC characters, Image and Marvel characters, Image and DC characters, you name it, we've got crossovers about it. And it doesn't mean that there aren't new crossovers coming out, such as Black Hammer and Justice League. That's right, the Black Hammer is a very cool book from Dark Horse, from Jeff Lemire. I've only recently started reading it, but what I've read has been very, very good. And they are teaming up with the Justice League in this handy mini-series. Various variant covers. We've got 4 of them there. I'm sure another one will ping up as if by magic to show you the other cover we've got. But yeah, if you like your crossovers, if you enjoy Jeff Lemire, and who doesn't, he's done some amazing stuff in recent years, check this out. Always good to see DC characters crossing over into other publishers. It's probably not going to happen between Marvel and DC anymore. I think that ship has sailed, but DC are on the cusp of crossing over with interesting and new characters like Black Hammer. So check this out if you like your crossovers, you like your Jeff Lemire, you like your Jeff Hammer. I nearly said Jeff Hammer is MC Hammer's real name. It might not be. Black Hammer Justice League issue 1 out this week. Now for a book that was originally going to come out from DC as part of the Vertigo imprint, which is soon to be no more. But it didn't happen. There was a bit of controversy about this title, so DC decided to not release it. But thankfully, it has been released as a part of Ahoy Comics. It's Second Coming, issue 1. Brand new series, brand new characters. I say brand new characters. That's Jesus, one of the oldest superheroes known to man. Second Coming has a Superman analogy character there. You've got the Second Coming of Jesus. They're going to team up, have some hijinks. I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think it looks like a lot of fun. So I'll be checking it out. Can't tell you too much because it's a brand new issue 1. It's only out tomorrow or today when you're watching this. We record this on a Tuesday, that's a spoiler for you. But Second Coming, very interesting book. Very pleased Ahoy picked it up after it being dropped from DC. So check this out if you want something a bit different and very, very new. 6 months ago, and time sure does fly, I mentioned how excited I was for Wonder Twins issue 1, and I was right to be excited because it was very, very good. And the 6th and final issue is out this week. Or is it the final issue? It was meant to be 6 issues long, but due to popular demand, it's been increased to 12 issues. So what was going to be the final issue of Wonder Twins is no more. We are now at the halfway point, which is really good stuff. Like I say, Wonder Twins has been a lot of fun. I'm sure you know Jan and Jaina from the Super Friends TV cartoon series back from the 70s and 80s. It's those characters finally in their own book, having a lot of fun. Again, a bit like Ecstatics, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a fun read, well worth your time. And yeah, if you're waiting for it to finish to collect it all, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But you can jump in with issue 6 and get the rest and get the back issues. Give it a read. It's one of my favourite titles of the year so far. And another new number 1 for you, this time for mature readers. So no kids allowed. It is Wolverine versus Blade, 2 of Marvel's most aggressive characters. You all know who Wolverine is. He's a member of the X-Men. Blade, I'm sure you've seen the Wesley Snipes movies. He hasn't really had many of his own comic series in the past, but he's had a few. Wolverine versus Blade is going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? Like I say, mature content, mature reader stuff. There's going to be a lot of blood and guts and violence and all that sort of fun stuff you expect from a Wolverine and Blade crossover. This is the variant. We've also got the standard cover in store. Check this one out if you want some bloodthirsty mutant vampire slaying shenanigans. From a mature reader's comic to maybe an immature reader's comic, it's Care Bears Unlock the Magic, issue 1 from IDW. IDW do a few toy properties. They obviously do Transformers, they've done G.I. Joe, and they've done Care Bears. And I know a lot of you, that are my sort of age, and probably female, enjoyed Care Bears when you were a child. But they do have a following between females and males. Questionable males, but Care Bears is out this week, so if you like them, Funshine Bear and the other ones, Care Bears Unlock the Magic, issue 1. A number of years ago, X-Force was relaunched with a kind of new team that was a bit off the wall by Mike Allred. That title later became X-Statix, and X-Statix are back, and I'm sure you're ecstatic to hear that. This is the ragtag group of characters, including everyone's favourite little green blob, Dupe. X-Statix are back in giant size X-Statix issue 1. So if you enjoy your X-Men books, but you like to be a little bit off the wall, a little bit crazy, a little bit wild, a little bit wacky, X-Statix is for you. Mike Allred back on drawing duties on the cover at least. I hope he's doing the interiors as well because he's very good. He did some great stuff on Madman, his create-your-own product from the 90s. But yeah, Giant Size X-Statix, very good book. Check it out. Now, I'll be honest with you, I know absolutely nothing about this title, but it's an Image issue 1 called Unearth, so it's worth talking about because an Image issue 1 is normally the start of a very good and exciting run on a comic. Image do brilliant stuff. I'm a big fan of DC, but if I had to pick a second favourite publisher, it would be Image. They're just that darn good. So if you like your new characters, if you like your new books, if you like trying something new, Unearth issue 1 from Image. If you read it, give your feedback in the comments below and let me know what you think so I can know more about it. Last week on the show, we spoke about the reprints of the Walmart books that DC are releasing. If you did miss last week's video, basically what happened last year was DC came to agreement with Walmart, the chain of superstores in the States, to release some 100-page giant comics, which are mainly reprints but also have 12 pages of brand new content by some superstar writers such as Tom King working on Superman and Brian Michael Bendis working on Batman. Now, what upset a lot of the people in the UK is we can't easily get a hold of those titles. They are exclusive to Walmart in the States. Comic shops can't get them, and the only way to get them is to spend a lot of money importing them over, which is what I did with the Superman ones because I'm dumb. But for people that aren't stupid, they are now being reprinted. This is the first 3 issues of Batman by Brian Michael Bendis. You need to hear nothing more than to sell that. Bendis and Batman together. Heard good things about this. Haven't read the Batman stuff myself, but Tom King's Superman, very, very good. But yeah, if you were upset you couldn't get hold of the Walmart issues, be upset no longer. The first 3 issues are collected in one handy tome. Trade paperback of the week, or in fact hardcover, is Green Lantern, or The Green Lantern to be exact, Intergalactic Lawman. Green Lantern got a reboot courtesy of Grant Morrison, who's a bit of a Marmite writer. I love some of his stuff. Some of his other stuff goes straight over my head. Haven't read Green Lantern, but I've heard very good things about it. So if you are a fan of Grant Morrison and you've not read this, pretty good way of doing it. It's volume 1 hardcover. You get the first, doesn't tell me, the first several issues in this handy hardcover. 23 quid for something by Grant Morrison in a lovely form, featuring everyone's favourite space policeman, the Green Lantern. It's Hal Jordan, and available today. Toy of the week, it's a pop. It's the Red Death from DC Metals. And that brings us to an end of another exciting week of new comics and brilliant stuff out. That isn't all that's out this week. There's plenty more on the shelf. So pop into store, whether that be here in Comic Connections or wherever your local comic store is. Have a look at what's out. Leave some of your favourite titles in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the video. And if you do come in here in Comic Connections in Banbury, get any of these titles or more on standing order with us. Not only do you get them reserved behind the counter, you save 20% off cover price. That's a deal and a steal. Do not steal, it's bad. I'll be back next week with more from Pete's Week in Comics, aka This Week's in Comics. I shall bid you adieu.